We got the surprise. We woke up one morning, and when I got up in the bedroom, it was basically like wet, soggy grass.
Who has to go into their attic to shovel snow out of the attic? Who? These people do.
Clearly, there was a problem. Didn't know what it was.
There's no caulking on the neighbors. There's no caulking on none of them.
You won't find caulking anywhere.
This is just like ridiculous.
Every step along the way, they just said, not responsible.
You know what I would have said? Kiss my rear end. Fix it. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, baby. But if you're going to do it right the first time. Let's get rid of it. How do you do this to a family? Look at the nest. They got a nest of them. Unbelievable. On the money. T3.
My hero!
Perfect.
Thank you guys.
You like it?
Oh, do I ever? Woo.
Lee and Bailey, newlyweds, wanted to buy new. Kind of makes sense. You know, the idea to buy new, that you're not going to have any problems.
We moved here about 2 years ago. It's our second year here. What attracted to us to this house was that it was a brand new home.
You know, we figured, you have all these warranties, so there wouldn't be any problems.
But right from day one, snow in the attic. Leaks, signs of problems, moisture coming in the house. Carpet's wet, one after the other.
In the wintertime, basically got the surprise. We woke up one morning, and when I got up in the bedroom, it was basically like wet, soggy grass. Clearly, there was a problem. Didn't know what it was.
They bring in the site superintendent in the area that's probably still working here while the houses are being complete. He brings them over a ladder, tells them to go up on the roof and shovel off the roof.
The back side of the house, it was just a sheet of ice all the way down, and that's where he wanted me to go down. And the front side was ice and snow built up. It's like 30 feet to go down to the end. So he wanted me to go down that ice, and it's like this steep. And that's what he suggested. And he was dead serious, and he actually went to go get me the ladder so I could do it. So then I said, you know what, hold on. This isn't right.
Bailey?
Yeah.
And Lee.
Hey, Mike.
Pleasure to meet you both. I'm sick and tired of hearing this, reading it in emails. Every single day that I'm at the office, it's there. New homes, new homes, new homes. It's leaking from the foundation. It's leaking from the roof. I have problems with the builder. They won't come back.
We called them like 30 times and they never even answered the phone. And then when we finally did get a hold of them, they basically just laughed at us and says, well, it's your own home maintenance to shovel all the snow off your roof.
Everyone's buying. Get in now. It's cheap. Buy now. Interest rates are low. Don't worry about the leaks. That's nothing. That's a maintenance issue. You can fix that.
Yeah.
How much have we been leaking here? Like every time it rains or winter or?
All the time, really. We don't really notice it when it happens. We just see the stains all the time, which comes from
Flat roof.
porch. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll have to take a look at that.
So, you're gonna love it up there. Now there's problems on the floor. There's a problem on the wall. So I just looked up in the attic because it was in that room, and that's when we saw the snowbanks in our attic.
You can see your flat roof. Is that a bathroom vent there in the corner?
It's a third of one. It's kind of covered up. They went right over top of it, but yes, it is.
So it doesn't work, obviously.
Well, we just went in our attic and shoveled the snow and got it out of there. Then we had to put a shower curtain down just so when it did come in that it wouldn't,
we got
we
smart
could pick
with
up
our
the shower
techniques.
curtain.
Yeah, we got the shower curtain so we could go up there and then get the shower curtain, bring it out of the attic, put it in the bathtub, and put it back up for the next day.
Your flashing looks rather funny from here. Not one person, including the builder, the superintendent, new home warranty, all of them came to look at the house. They all came out front, or a couple of them at least, to get in the ladder, but no one went up there.
We paid 2 different roofers to come, and we also paid the private inspector to come out. And the roofer that came out the second time we put those vents on fixed that. But he was actually laughing, and he actually said, do you have a camera I can have to go up here? And he took a bunch of pictures for me, which I have inside to show you.
At the end of the day, we just wanted it fixed properly.
Yeah.
We didn't care how it got done. We didn't care, if we had to spend more money on it. We just didn't want the builder to come back and patch it up. We just wanted it done right.
I like it.
Well, we got the house painted about 4 months ago. which was great because it covered a lot of the problems too on the wall, the water.
Love the deep brown right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Death by chocolate.
Death by chocolate. Love the vaulted ceiling. Very nice.
Yeah, we bought a big light for there.
Okay, 3-bedroom, 1, 2, 3.
So 3 bedrooms, 3 problems. Anywhere you want to start.
3 problems.
Yeah. This is where we keep the ladder. So
At least it's not in the closet.
well, we keep it here because every couple days I come home from work and I'll just open it up. I keep the flashlight here too, so I can take a look and see if there's any snow up there and I have to get it out.
When you buy a new house, what homeowner is going to go in the attic, look on the roof? They're not. They don't know about that. They have their own jobs to do. They're not builders. If they were, obviously the builder would have a hard time building their home, wouldn't they? Office?
Yep, home office. Here's.
You work from home? Okay,
So
you did have a lot of snow in the attic.
Yeah, and this is about, I don't know how long after it actually snowed. This is just when I caught it. So this is after we saw the water damage, which means it's already melted quite a bit. So it was higher than that. And this is what you're gonna find on the roof.
Has this been fixed at all?
No.
Where's this? Where's your finger pointing here?
That is, I'll take you on the balcony.
As you walk right in the front of the house, there's evidence of leaking right on the brick wall, right over the front door. Oh, that's bare wood.
Look at this, it's just,
One, that's supposed to be protected underneath this. This is a topping, it's not at the bottom, right? So it should have come up underneath the doorway. Then this comes up, and I'd like to see that underneath the doorway with a nice bead of some sort of rubberized caulking. Very, very sloppy. Now, we know the builder's the superintendent of the build, sees this. He knows what it is. I go up, I take a look on the flat roof. There's no flashing whatsoever at the door. It's improperly laid. The one membrane, that granulated layer, is not proper the way it's put down. There's no protection underneath it. It's not even caulked to the door. It's right there in front of you. They took the pictures, they showed everyone, and everyone does one of these. It's your problem.
starting our lives in this new house, and we just got married and everything. The last thing we want is to wake up and think, okay, is it going to snow today? Are we going to have water damage? Call them skid marks because that's what they look like here.
Two of
So
them.
look at this. Yeah. So his and hers.
Do you really want this getting that bad that it's starting to leak inside and down the walls and on the carpet and possible mold is growing in behind the drywall? Do they really want it to get that bad? Because if push comes to shove and they have the money to hire a lawyer, they're going to have to fix it.
And what do we rent?
One of those vacuums that soaks up all
Big
the water.
carpet vacuums. We got, I think, eight or nine full buckets of water out of our carpet.
You would know if it was leaking through the ceiling. We would see saturation like you wouldn't believe. It is actually coming down the interior side of the wall, coming out on the floor, because your subfloor is going to go directly under the wall. So it comes down the inside of the wall, across the floor, is being absorbed not only into the probably OSB sheathing, but also the carpet. Not a good sign.
It's something we never expected ever to happen, that you'd have so many problems with a brand new house when you spend so much money.
Where's the room over the garage? Here?
Right here. This room gets very, very cold. In the winter, you have track pants and sweater because it gets so cold in here. It's unbelievable. I don't know if it's because of the garage or if it's coming through the windows.
Every time I go into a new home, this is the coldest room in the house because
the garage.
minimum code doesn't work here. We're gonna come in, we're gonna pull down the ceiling, we're gonna close off the hot air vent that's in there, remove, more than likely there's an air return, which shouldn't be in there. We're gonna close it off, we're gonna thermal break it and re-drywall it. And they're gonna be the warmest people on the street in that room in the subdivision. Well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna make sure it's watertight. We're gonna make sure it's warm. I'm going to look into your garage. Obviously, I'm more than likely gonna take your ceiling down in your garage, do a thorough inspection, change it the way I always do, and fix your roof and your flashing, your shingles, and maybe I'll give you something even better since you've gone through all this hell. Maybe we'll give you a metal roof. How's that?
Hey,
All right,
Good.
don't
Thanks a
you
lot,
worry,
Mike.
man. I'm gonna take care of it. As usual.
appreciate it.
Give me a couple of days, I'll be back. There's a death trap I noticed on the other side here. That piece of wood, that's not doing anything. That's unacceptable because they made it unsafe for anyone who comes up here, including the homeowner. Do you not step on that?
Now there's problems on the floor, there's a problem on the wall. So I just looked up in the attic because it was in that room. And that's when we saw the snowbanks.
Not one person, including the builder, the superintendent, new home warranty, all of them came to look at the house. That's good. Got our material? That's the way to do it. Bring everything in. The bin should be here in about, I don't know, 15 minutes.
Okay.
So we'll just make up a plan. We're gonna take the rail out and go up on the flat roof.
Yeah.
Can we protect that flashing somehow?
We're gonna get some tarps.
So we're using a metal roof?
Steel roof, yeah.
And we're, I always say metal, steel roof.
Yeah.
So what is it actually, steel, aluminum?
It's galvalume on the back.
Galvaluminum.
And steel with a stone coating.
So it's galvanized aluminum on the back?
Yes.
The steel coating on the top?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir. No caulking, eh?
No caulking. Just exposed nails. But it's not a flapper vent. It's just a regular vent.
They put it into a roof vent. It's not
Yes.
a proper exhaust vent.
That's right. It's just a regular vent that they've hooked up the bathroom exhaust to. And you can even see the mildew.
And that's the last thing we want to do is put a rain line so close to the side of it. Now that's step flashing because we're about 4 feet from the bottom.
Right.
Is that supposed to be all the way up?
Yes.
We must use step flashing and then a cap flashing.
Yep. Counter flash.
Okay, and obviously it stops right there.
Yeah. What we'd like to see is ice and water. Even
wrap
before
it up?
that. Yeah, exactly. There's bare wood down there too. Notice when you're coming up the ladder.
Well, there's no caulking on the neighbors. There's no caulking on none of them.
You won't find caulking anywhere.
There's a death trap I noticed on the other side here. That piece of wood?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's scary. That doesn't make me feel good. Let's be careful walking around this roof. It's 24-inch on center on the rafters, which I'm used to seeing. I hate it, but
Got a clip down there.
yeah, like that's gonna do anything. Because that's what they had a clip here, right? That's not doing anything. Do not step on that.
When you sheet any roof, or even deck or what have you, your grain of your plywood is going to be perpendicular to your rafters. Here it's parallel, so it's even weaker.
Oh, that makes sense. Rob called this one a death trap, the one that you could simply fall through. And I guess, in a way, they made sure that the one beside it here on this side was even worse. You know, to have the superintendent tell the guy to get up on the roof and shovel the snow off, can you imagine had he fallen through here? 3/8 sheeted plywood is weak in its beginning, and we changed that code back up to 1/2 inch because roofers were falling through. But put down this way, I heard one of the guys saying they're making us look bad. Now, these are pro roofers. It's not all the industry. It's a certain amount of people out there that just don't care. But that's unacceptable because they made it unsafe for anyone who comes up here, including the homeowner. Homeowners, stay off your roof.
Unlike traditional older homes that had roof boards, the nails tend to catch more meat, so to speak, and hold a little better. But with thin plywood like this, they tend to free up pretty easily. So it doesn't really take very long to strip a roof like this.
We should get ready to plastic up all the stuff on the inside, especially the back wall. Make it neat, get it against there as much as possible.
Yep.
Clean and let's get ready to take the drywall down. We're going to hold off on the drywall until we have all the shingles in the bin, then we'll put the drywall on top. We'll separate it at the transfer station. I already got the okay.
Okay. Excellent. Is there a spray foam issue?
Money, Mark? Of course.
Yeah.
It's
Every
cold in
garage.
my room above the garage. Like, I'm not even gonna play with it. We're gonna take it down. We know we're gonna spray foam it. Call Alex and fix it.
Okay.
How you been, Mark?
Real well, thanks.
Keeping busy?
It's getting really busy now.
That's a good sign.
It's a great sign. Hard to keep up.
Hey, man, that's a good, so everything's picking up, is it?
Everything's picking up.
Look at the freaking moisture around there.
Well, ideally what you'd want is a collard over top of the shingles that the pipe then connects to inside the roof.
Good point, because what we're doing is we're bringing warm, steamy air from the bathroom out to this area, which is actually, maybe that's what's caused the moisture on the wood and not so much being exterior.
The staining here, and you can see it even on top of the shingle here, whereas below.
Right.
But I mean, over time, this is just gonna rot.
I got my new 5-point harness system on. This one here is probably electrical. It doesn't matter. It's 5-point. It's still safe. What I like about it's got the parachute. So like if I fall off, I just pull. I'll hit the ground before the chute comes out. You see the chute on the back? No? All right, so there's no chute. I'm just kidding. But it'd be cool if there was.
It's mostly sloppy workmanship, flashings or vents. Vent locations, and unfortunately, like, roofers don't choose the vent locations. The framers will cut them as they're sheeting the roof.
Man, I still want to know how the snow is coming in. You think it was the intake, it was pulling it in.
Yeah, I think because of those vents being lower, it was definitely.
And not to mention cheap vents.
And cheap vents.
We talked about this yesterday. $21 for an expensive vent. $21.
Versus 5, $6.
So it's $100 for your roof. $100 for way better vents. You're not going to be taking snow out of your attic. And then install it right, of course. Take it down, pull the wires. I don't care what anyone says, this should be minimum code. Take it down, pull the wires. Let's put it aside. Keep it leaning against the wall because we'll put it on top of the shingles when we're done with the shingles, okay? That way we can separate it easy. Just cut all your joints, no hurry, watch the stuff. What's your name?
Pinky.
Pinky?
Hi.
I like the hair short and everything, but you're not Pinky, I know. Are we Blackie today?
Yeah,
I'm Mike.
I guess so.
Nice to meet you. I like hiring more women, so.
It's the hair color of the week.
Actually, looks good. Here's how a garage works. Why is it cold in the room above the garage? There's our floor joist. We can see our floor joist right up above, 2x8 spanned across to the other side, load-bearing wall here, load-bearing wall on the outside. Lower the ceiling, so they go to the extreme of putting up a 2x4, lower ceiling, building it all. Vapor barrier, minimum code says vapor barrier on the warm side. So this is now the warm side, and the insulation goes in here, making that R value, that resistance, that baffle. The vapor barrier is supposed to stop airflow. They did actually do a half-decent job, but how does it stop airflow when it's not 100% continuous? It's not. Air's gonna get up.
Yeah,
There you go. Very nice.
But what is really stopping the cold air from getting in? Let's think about this. Garage door, it's not a thermal door. This room is not a heated room. It's a cold room in the winter, so that cold wants to drive through. It's much easier to get up here, not to mention the front part of the house. Here's the issues. Someone's run a cable line in the corner. I see a hole in the ceiling. So what happens when your car comes in? You start your car, you drive in. What do we have? Gassing from the car. That gassing gets up into this area because there's a hole in the ceiling. The vapor's not 100% continuous. It's not stopping the air. It's not stopping the gases. The room directly above it will now have gases coming up. Is this smart? No.
Now come right down. Make sure the light goes through.
I'll get the light over.
It's all yours.
would not be good.
They just scabbed these onto the sides. So
That's even worse.
even worse.
Steve had mentioned that there was a possibility that these were rough-ins for skylights. I definitely agree. That's what they were. If you think about it as a builder, they're going to build a home, remember? Rough in for central vac, put a rough in for the skylights. That's a long way down, boy. Someone's going to get hurt. Now, I'm just going to have Damon go get some 2x4s and we'll take these off and we'll glue it and screw it and nail it. This is a different underlayment. What is this?
It's the next generation of underlayments. It's waterproof, 15 times stronger than felt. And as far as I'm concerned, the most important thing about it is it's got a skid-resistant coating on it, wet or dry.
So when we're on it, we won't slip.
We're safer.
Now, this is what we want to do. We want to make sure that we put the water and ice shield in the valley with our metal, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this is going to act on its own, never mind anything else. How about the top of the hip?
This will cover with the Grace Triflex paper.
Okay, and then go over with the metal.
Yeah.
How about where we meet the firewall?
Similar to what we see here, we're going to make flashings that'll go up and over the block.
So we'll
firewall.
continue right along with the water and ice shield.
Water shield, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Because that's, you know, the more we concentrate on protecting the areas that are vulnerable, which are the valleys, the vents, any edge protrusions where the flashing is. Like, this should be minimum code. I don't care what anyone says. This should be minimum code. How about the vents?
These vents, this is where the homeowners had the issues of the snow blowing in. And my real concern is, because it's a shared attic space, I have a feeling these were acting as an intake vent, which is why the builder had come back and put on, quote unquote, winter vents.
If we put on a better vent and not a winter vent, because I don't think there's any such thing, if we put on the best vent, it doesn't do that, does it?
Well, actually, what I'm thinking is to close these vents and vent this area through the main ridge, which is much higher elevation, and we'll do a ridge vent in that location.
Okay, are we going to be getting to the steel roof today, do you think?
Absolutely. It's going to be a short bit of time to finish the prep on this side of the roof, and then we'll be starting the panel installation.
Every step along the way, they just said, not responsible.
We've had snow in the attic, we've had leaks from front, back, middle. So we have issues.
We got, I think, eight or nine full buckets of water out of our carpet.
Very, very sloppy.
Yep.
Mike, I love this stuff. We've used it a couple of times, and what I like is that not only does it withstand high winds up to what?
120 miles an hour.
120 miles an hour. And what's going to happen to these roofs if we have that kind of wind?
Well, they're going to wish they had this one, I think.
I have to agree with that. Also, environmentally friendly. We're not using the asphalt, the oil's out of the ground. So not only do we have the ice and water shield at the bottom, which I want to see, and definitely the Triflex, wonderful stuff, non-slips. We have the steel valley, and is that a cap over the middle of the valley?
Yeah, that's a decorative cap. just so we have the same finish as the finished panels.
Trying to match the look on the rest of the roofs.
Yeah.
Proper drip edge, which I like to see to protect that metal. And it's actually directed right into the east trough here. And then a starter strip, is that correct?
Yeah, that's our hook strip, which the back of the panel has a sort of return bend on it, return fold. And we screw this down, and then that gives us our clipping point, much like a aluminum or vinyl siding, except much stronger.
I'm a happy guy. Go get him. Thanks for making it right with us.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
It's a little more time consuming, but it's a lot more effective, I think, than an actual shingle. Yeah, I'm good.
6.5, Steve. 6.5.
You know, when you're talking about products, this is expensive. Now, what is expensive? You know, if it's 2 to 3 times more expensive than the crappy old roof over there, is it worth spending the money? This is another reason why it costs more money. This is one piece of metal that has been bent to give you the rib, 1 rib, 2 ribs, center rib, and 2 on the other side. So this is the valley itself. Impossible to allow water to drive down from one side to the other because it stops it at this side. So our steel shingles go in this area and then it's capped off across the middle here. Not only does it look good, but it does exactly what it's supposed to do, control water. Great stuff. What did they do with this hole?
They just had a piece jammed up in there.
Of insulation?
Yep.
So there's the cold zone, because that's that little attic out front.
Right.
And they had a little piece just stuffed in here?
They just stuffed it right in there.
So how do you make that a conditioned warm zone when you have cold air coming in?
Yeah.
Any vapor barrier?
No. But they did have vapor barrier here, remember?
On the bottom?
Yeah.
But they need vapor barrier to go across the front as well.
Right.
And they didn't?
Nope.
Surprise. Okay. That's why Alex is here. We're going to... Obviously, we're going to blanket the front. We're going to have to blanket the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
The whole side perimeter and the ceiling. What about the ductwork?
The ductwork, we're going to spray the ductwork.
They want to make it a conditioned zone. They put in a little heat line, no return, so we're blowing air into nowhere, but we don't want the return. As a matter of fact, we really don't want the heat line.
When you put the duct coming in here, introducing the hot air, you're pressurizing this cavity here, and
a positive and a negative. It's only a positive.
It's only a positive, so it's pressurizing. It's going to find every single leak. You're going to create other conditions everywhere inside this system, or this little system right here. So that means there's potential condensation happening at every little gap that happens, and potentially creating a mold issue.
Just do it the right way the first time.
Yeah.
So with this roof system, wherever we have a penetration to the roof, such as a stack vent or an exhaust vent in this case, we need to use an underpan system, which I'm going to seal our collar to. And then what that does is allow any moisture, warm air out of this pipe out on top of the roof system. This flange, this panel is actually going to hook in over top of these panels. So once this panel is installed with the collar and sealed, we can bring our stone-coated panel with a proper vent in over top, and then that'll breathe nicely out to the outside and not have any moisture issues affecting the plywood like we saw earlier.
Okay, Bert. I'm gonna let it some time. Okay, 1 second, I gotta guide the pipe in, guys. Okay, nice fit. Good? Yep.
Why do you call him Bird?
Just his name was so close to it, I just figured Burt Reynolds would stick with him.
He kind of looks like Burt Reynolds' son, doesn't he?
Do I look anything like him?
Yes, you do.
No way.
Yeah, a little resemblance. not a bad thing. Women love Burt Reynolds. Are you kidding?
You should see him now. He's like 90 and he's like
He
this.
still looks good. I don't know if he's 90, but he's still. All right, I gotta go. That's sexy. Not only does it look good, but it does exactly what it's supposed to do, control water.
Well, we got some scaffold for Frank. He's gonna actually hang a chandelier, a 21-foot ceiling in there. So Mr. Burt Reynolds is gonna start passing me this stuff here. Carly, you know where to set it up, eh? We'll set it up lengthways in there. Hey, Burt, bring me a brace. Let's get our first piece set up and then we'll shift it what we have to. There you go. Okay, pass me another plank, please. Well, as you can see, I mean, they hung a 70s style light here in a 3-year-old house. I mean, we are in the 2000s here. We should have a light that sort of matches the era. This really doesn't. This is like something out of my childhood or something. So they picked a nice chandelier, and we have Frank in today. He's gonna actually install this for us. So we're just making Frank's life a little easier.
It's going well. We got about 2/3 of the backside closed off. Pretty much all of the front closed off. A little more time. We'll be on to the flashing work, which is sort of the finishing touch.
Okay, we set up a scaffold for you. The idea is that right in the center, well, actually, you can base it from the mirrors where they had their table. Where the light is actually situated right now, it just doesn't look right to me. So if we can do a new box and then just plate that and chain it to it, or just plate it. So I'm giving you two choices.
What we see here is obviously there's nothing above the box here. I can get my screwdriver right in that hole, straight up. And when I shake on the box here, there's obviously movement. You can see that better like that. So this box isn't supported. It should have been, definitely, but it hasn't been. So what we'll do is we'll go into the attic, and right now I should have a joist sitting right here. So either I'm gonna use the retro box or just support it by putting in a piece of wood right across the top. So I've got something to screw into, and this box can hang on to something. Into the attic we go.
So what we're doing is we're putting a new coping on this firewall. The original one never had any locks, locks being this folded portion of the sheet metal. And what that's basically doing is creating a hidden fastener sort of system, so that this piece is actually continued in here but fastened here. So when we slide in our new piece, or next piece I should say, the fastener's hidden, covered from weather. The piece can't blow off. A little more professional way of doing it, as opposed to the last pieces, which were just overlapped and caulked and nailed through the top. All potential leaks.
Now that's solid. Common question on chandeliers: which wire ends up getting connected to the white, which one gets connected to the black? In this case, in this area here, we've got a neutral and a hot. We want to make sure we look for the markings on the wire. You notice the ridges over here, and on the other one, there's no ridges. The one with the ridges is your identified conductor. That's the one that's going to get the white wire. This is to ensure that when you screw in light bulbs, it's not live because the outside sheathing of the light bulb could come live if you end up connecting it the other way. There you go. Hang up.
All right, I got the weight. I'll give you one. I'll do one at a time each. It actually is hanging in the right spot. Go ahead, Damon. That is sexy.
It is very nice.
I like that. Good job, Frank.
Nice job, buddy.
Very nice. Let's do the garage.
You do. You're not making this easy.
I'm gonna get your hair next.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
Reveal day and we're tarping. A bad sign, but had a little bit of rain this morning, so we got to do a little bit of torching up there. It's got to be a completely dry for us, so we're going to tarp it just so it stops the rain from hitting it. They're going to dry it out and just get some tapping and torch that down a little bit, fix this up. It'll be fine. This always happens on reveal day.
We're seeing the same sort of sloppy workmanship in this area. I mean, this isn't bonded. You know, they torched right to the wood. There's nothing in under the sill. We're actually looking at exposed wood. That's the way they left it.
What are you proposing to do to fix it?
Well, this we can get back down. We'll nail it down in tight.
Yeah.
And we'll put a piece of metal in underneath the door, and then, you know, obviously have caulking all around our perimeter here.
Are we gonna go over the roof at all? Or you're happy with this?
This I'm like, I mean, for the feel of the roof, I'm okay with. We're gonna check the seams, make sure there's no, you know, open spots in the seams.
Okay.
We're gonna address obviously the perimeter issues.
Flashing?
New flashing.
Okay.
We're gonna chisel out this regular flashing that's sort of beat and weathered anyway. And we'll put a full counter flashing down the roof line.
Okay. Well, if anyone can do it, I know you can do it. I'm gonna go up into the attic. Just take a quick look.
So, you know, we can see why we had a bit of leaking, staining down below. They've gone to the care of priming the brick, but, you know, there's not much primer on this surface. And the sheen, the skin is sort of still on the membrane, so they didn't put a lot of heat on the membrane to get it to stick to the masonry. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reseal these edges to the wall, and then replace a flashing here to cover over top of this membrane. If they took a little bit more time, it wouldn't have been a problem. They wouldn't have had an issue here at all.
Really, I just want to make sure everything's okay. I can see the plastic over there where the snow came in. He still has the plastic down. We will pick that up. We see a proper seal here, wrap around the ductwork, which is our bathroom exhaust. It wasn't easy for me to get up here. Can you imagine the homeowner? I'm used to this. Like I can come up here and walk in here because I know where the structured beams are. Everything else looks fine. It's raining out. There is no signs of water coming in, which means we've done our job. You gotta go up into your attic, he tells them. You gotta go up into your attic. You gotta take the snow out. You gotta go up on your roof. You gotta be kidding me. Telling them to come up here like this, that's a little ludicrous. What if he falls through? What if he damages the ceiling? What if he hurts himself? What if he falls on his head? Never mind on the roof. Hey, Damon, grab me a rake, please, a fan rake or something, see if you can find from the garage. Thank you. So we want to make sure that we're breathing from both front and back to the house, pulling in that fresh air, exhausting it through the top, and we couldn't get any better by doing a ridge vent. Thanks, Damon. All right. Well, the whole idea is you don't want to be up in the attic. You don't want to disrupt all the insulation. You shouldn't be up here. That's just the bottom line. This is not an area for homeowners to come and play, kids. Unless you want to come through your ceiling. That's good. you, Damon.
Thank you. Well done.
That was an adventure. Reminded me when I was like 12, maybe 8. Okay, 1 hour. We'll do a quick little cleanup. How long for the rails?
That's gonna take about 20 minutes to put back together. Just a few bolts, a few leg bolts, a few screws.
All right, we'll probably start cleaning up the inside of the house. Be an early reveal instead of 12 o'clock at night. I'm a happy man. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
As everything else is probably done on this house, it was done too quickly. I mean, as I can see here, there's like, this isn't exactly done properly. They have absolutely no insulation here. Just everything's done so quickly. They would try and knock these off as quickly as possible, move on to the next one. That's how they make their money. So it doesn't surprise me one bit.
Hey guys, how many emails have I received on my roof is leaking on my brand new house? Lots. That's why I'm in here. Not to mention Lee and Bailey, really good people and really do deserve our help. It's the time, as usual, that we give it all back. But then again, you haven't gone anywhere, right? Yeah. It's not like I did an extreme bathroom or kitchen or basement or dug up your house or actually tore it down and built you a new one. But you did get a new light. Now, I brought in Frank because we checked to see if the light was already secured. It was not, so not properly secured for a big hanging light like this, so we made it secure. They should have done it. That's the builder. It's a real shame it's got to come to this. Lee and Bailey bought the house because it was new. They didn't want maintenance issues. They didn't want problems. They're terrified about buying an older house that someone has renovated and something's wrong with it.
It's the worrying of, like, what am I going to come home to when I come home from work today? Like, are we going to have water damage? Are we going to have whatever? Do I have to wear track pants and a sweater in my office because it's freezing in there?
The part that really got on my nerves is how the superintendent of the build site, the guy that oversees all the builders, brought over a ladder, directed him to go on the roof, get a shovel, and pull the snow off the roof so it didn't go inside the attic. It's a maintenance issue. There's a reason I'm bringing you in here.
This was the cold room.
This was the cold room. We ripped it all down, got rid of it all, brought in Alex, spray foamed everything. I guarantee this room will be as warm as every other single room now. If the builders had done that in the first place or do that and then brag about it to the homeowners, by the way, we spray foam and you're gonna love how warm it is, I think more people would pay attention to buy the houses. Kind of makes sense to me. What's the issue? They're skirting the problem. They're sort of, it's not our problem. There's snow in the attic, it's leaking in 3 different areas, and it's not your problem? You just built the house. Fix it. Do you think they look good when we come in and have to fix it? Do you think everyone in the area came up and said, who's the builder? Do I have a problem? You can tell we did all new flashing up here. Steve did. He's very good at what he does. Continued the roof line, and we'll just call this just over top of the garage as well as down below. What I like is we also did new caulking around your door. We added spray foam because there wasn't enough insulation.
But it was very cold in that room as well.
Just seeing the way this is done, just making it tight. No water getting in.
Looks tidy.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
Before, it was all ripped up in the corner and you could see there's no caulking there and it was separated from the door. Completely different.
No excuse. It should have been fixed. The higher roof vents were pulling air out. And because the lower vents were in the wrong location, it was pulling air in. And as it pulls air in, it will pull that fine snow dust inside the attic, enough to build it up into a pile on top of the insulation.
I noticed on the weekend when I was looking at it that we don't have vents like everybody else does. So I was hoping you didn't forget, but I had a feeling there's more to the story.
They're all gone now. You can see we have a proper vent there, right there, and that's for your bathroom. So that's not properly exhausted, not into a roof vent, but into a breathable, proper vent. we've given you from one side of the other to the other side of the house, and you really can't see it from here. It is a breathable ridge vent. And the ridge vent is a filtered fabric, and what that does is stops bees, critters, anything from getting in, including the snow in the winter. What I love most, it is the highest point of airflow. Allows the fresh air to come in from the bottom, your soffit, the lowest point, pulling it all the way up to the highest point where hot air rises and allowing it to escape. You cannot get better than this. Everyone recommended to Lee and Bailey, sell the house, get out, pass it on to someone else. But they didn't. They wanted to solve the problem. Good for them. Cut open your vent so it can breathe.
Hey, it works now.
Because that
so it's functional now.
that is the bathroom downstairs.
Well, it's great just to have our house back to how it should have been when we bought it. I mean, it's been so many problems since we bought the house for 2 years, and it's nice just to have, you know, the structure of the house in working order now.
This is something I would put on my own roof. I'm not going to go to the extreme for just to do it, okay?
Sure.
The reason I'm choosing this is because it's the best. It's the best installation. It's the best products, best underlayment. And if we want to do it, if it was my house, this is how I would do it. The roof saves everything on the inside. It stops mold if no water gets in. It stops huge insurance rates from water damage. Logical. Start thinking from the outside in and not the inside out. That's why we did it. It's an important issue.
Who's hungry? Anybody hungry? I want to thank you guys. You guys have been amazing. Your whole crew, yourself.
You know what? You get what you give in my world. And obviously you're good people. And we're getting what we give because you're making a beautiful dinner and a couple of drinks. And I thank you so much.
Steak and potatoes. Can't beat it.
That's all we want. Thank you so much. And all right.
Throw me some man love.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Mike, nice.
Nothing serious.
I've worked so hard for this. Thank you.